Okay, guys, so once again, Trump has hit a flip flop on us, and I want to talk about a few stocks that you need to watch come Monday morning. All right, so if you haven't heard the news so far, or if you haven't been keeping up with the news, I know it's the weekend, but hell, as a trader, we got to keep up with certain things. And Trump has put in place exemption for electronics, chips, smartphones, computers, things like that, and they are no longer subject to tariffs. Now, we all know why stocks were having such major pullbacks, why it all was come crashing down across Apple, Nvidia, Palantir, all of these companies. Why? Because of these excessive tariffs that Trump keeps putting in place. All of these news and rumors around the tariffs has just been swaying the market, right? So I want to look at a few stocks that I had some levels to the downside and upside. But because of this news, and we know that it's going to push a lot of these stocks up crazy come Monday, that pre-market and Monday at opening, downside levels probably ain't going to be something we're going to really be watching for right now. But I'm going to go over the ones that I had kind of drawn out yesterday night anyway, because hey, pullbacks happen, you just never know. And hey, who knows what's going to take place between now, Sunday, and then Monday morning with the way Trump is doing things. Okay, and let me just say this too, this is no better time to get a full understanding of how to trade fair value gaps. Now, we'll talk about that later, but just know, come Monday, we are going to see some major gaps. And by later, I mean another video because I want to just focus on the levels here tonight. Okay, so I'm going to take you guys over to the charts, and we are going to look at three stocks, and we are going to look at some levels to the upside and downside that I want you guys to watch for, that you can pretty much use as a little guide to where this thing just might be going. So I have Nvidia up first. Okay, so as you guys can see here, I have some levels that I had mapped out that I was just pretty much looking at because I was trying to make some decisions on what I wanted to do Monday. Now, I normally do my planning on Sunday night when I'm getting ready to kind of decide on which stocks I'm going to be looking at and where I'm going to be opening my position. And so I just decided to come over to the charts, especially with the week that we had last week. It's just kind of like, okay, I'm not personally looking at any swings right now. I've been telling my mentees this all last week. Be gentle on the swings because we think one thing is going to happen. We thought we was going to have a 2025 Black Monday. And what happened? Come Wednesday, and Trump announces this 90-day pause on the tariff, and we may have think we was going to get some massive downside. And what happened? So it's just like the swings are just off my radar right now. This is that see profit, take profit, and don't overstay your welcome because that news could hit at any moment and that shit could flip. So I'm just mostly looking at some levels to get in, get my profit, and go on about my day. Okay. So with Nvidia, as you guys see here, they had a high of 115.10 on Friday. Okay, so because I believe this thing is going to jump up, initially I was looking at, okay, we need to see this open above 111.43, but we will need to look for it to open above 115.10. Okay, this little peak that we have up here. So with them opening above that and above this 111 level right here, I believe that they will try to push it up here to 116.02. And to be quite honest with you, come open, I wouldn't be surprised if we have already pushed up to this 116.02. Okay, so we just have to watch the pre-market to see what takes place. Now, next level up here that I have is 120.23. That once this level up here is broken, once we get past this, we make it up here to this 116. They can break and hold above that. We're going to 120.23. I had a level a little bit higher up at 127. Now, because I believe that we will probably open above 116, these two levels up here, it's not too far fetched. We will definitely begin to see a run up on this to kind of start going back to some of those older highs. And so I see it opening above 116 come Monday, and then have this 123 level hit, and then this 127 level. So that I think it's going to be an easy hit because I can definitely see this thing running up. But of course, we have to kind of take things a little further to the left, see what those little hurdles that we got to get over before we can get up there to 127. But hey, I pretty much just kind of looking at how this news is going to pretty much hit big, the same way it hit crazy big when the tariffs were initially imposed. And as the tariff amounts were being increased, for China for the most part, you see how we were dropping 10, 15, $20 across stocks, okay? Apple for one of them. And so we know that that's possible, okay? So if we don't open above that, which I don't see any reason why we would open below this 200 EMA here. Now I'm on a 15-minute right now. Okay. I don't see any reason that we would open below 116. I don't see any reason why we would open below 115 come Monday due to this news. But just to add some lower levels to your radar, okay, I have a level here at 102.13. To the downside, if we open below this 200 here, 102.13, and then I have another level here at 97.98, and I have another level here at 93.16, and we break and hold below 93.16. 92.59 would be next, and then these further levels down up in here. We got this 96.05 level down here, but of course we have some noise that we would have to get through here before we get down there to that 86. So that's Nvidia. Those are just those 6 levels that I'm pretty much watching. Like I said, I'm not heavy on the downside, but mostly these 3 levels up here to the upside. And if it does break above 126, then we have some more levels at the top that we will be hitting. And it's just your job to watch what you see on the charts and react to that. All right. Now let's go to Apple. So Nvidia is the first one, and Apple is the next one. Remember, looking at smartphones, computers, chips, and all of that. So you see these exemptions. Your job is to go out and look for the companies that manufacture, that creates, that produces these type of products, because you could definitely expect a run up on them. And it doesn't have to be some of the big ones. It could be something, some individuals are a little bit smaller, whichever ones works best for you. But I'm just giving you guys something I have on my radar that we know for a fact is more than likely going to have a crazy run up Monday. Okay. So to the upside on Apple, all right, we want to see it get open above 261. I'm pretty confident that it will. Okay, and we have 201.39. I have another level up here at 207.42 and another level at 212.44. Now we break above 212.44, and this thing could continue to run up to some of those older, higher levels that we've already seen. Because remember, just last week, Apple was down $20, $25. Like, once those tariff news really start pushing out, we saw just how that thing started pouring down. And so Apple genuinely has its opportunity now to start running back up to the 220, 225 levels that they had up there before. Okay, so those are just some to watch. We get above up here, we get above 212.44, then we'll begin to run up. We got 216, I think it was like 216.18 if I'm not mistaken. And then I had 220 level, and then back up here to 225. Breaking above that, we could potentially push higher. All right. Now, to the downside, if this is something that, like I said, pullbacks happen, we open below this right here. Okay, this right here is my 200, and that's 191.27. If we open below and it breaks and hold below that 191, we can expect to kind of break back to this 183. What is that? 183.90. Okay, as you guys can see, I have a little level close by, 183.06, and getting back, I say 90, 183 even, that's 0, 0. Okay, and so I have 183.06 here, and then just this little level here. I think I got this level a little bit too high. It was supposed to be 183. Okay, now we got this next level down. If it breaks and hold below 183, we got 177.02, and then I have another level at 170.82. Okay, we get anything below that, we have a level down here at 168.98, 168.03 that we would need to break below to go down to those further levels. But like I said, And I'm going to say again, I'm not expecting this to pull this far back down, but these are just some levels to watch to the downside. Because we see how we've been getting flip-flop with Trump since last week. And so, keeping levels in mind to the downside will still be something to put in your notes and to keep on your radar. All right, so we go into our next one, which will be Microsoft. So, Microsoft Corp, remember, smartphones, Apple, Nvidia chips, and Microsoft computers. Okay. Now, let's zoom this out just a little bit. Let me zoom it in a little bit. And we look at our upside levels. Now, I am pretty confident that we are going to open over this 393 level here. Now, right here, I have 383.75. Remember, I did these levels Friday evening before this news even came out. And so I was looking to be sure that we open above this 398.75 and then we break 393.23. Then we could push up to this next level of 397.45. And then I have another level up here at the top at 407.25. Okay. And so I believe, just as with Nvidia, that we will probably open above, like my first level that I have here. I believe we will probably open above my second level, which is 397.45 on Microsoft. Okay, so when I say gaps, we can definitely expect some major jumps to take place. So there's a high possibility that we could open over 397. But the important thing is that we open above 393.23 to continue to push higher. So we get above 407 up in here, then we got some other levels that we can watch for to the upside, right? So it's just your job to kind of go look further to the left if you need to go to your 1 hour to kind of find more levels that you are looking at, depending on just how massive the run up is come Monday. All right. Now, Microsoft get it under the 200. Okay, this is my 200 EMA. We can expect to test this low level down here at 369.55, which will open the door for that low Friday, which was 367.82. We get below that, right? We got 359.22 and we have 350.34 at the bottom. Now we break 354. We have this lower level here from Friday. It's 348.18. And I'm sorry, this is one Friday, but a little further back, we got this lower level down here that we will need to break to get below 348.18, and there are more levels that you can watch for to the downside. So even though I am not anticipating these lower levels, I wasn't anticipating these lower levels Friday when I was making them, and we could kind of shift our focus to the top. So as the day progressed Monday, we can kind of see where the pullbacks will take place. Like for instance, let's say where we closed out Friday, we run up to 407. Okay, we hit a resistance up there and we get a pullback here to like this level here at 397. Or we can get a pullback here if it doesn't break and hold. So I'm not quite expecting to run up here, hit a resistance, and then pull back all the way down to 369 unless some crazy major news come in and just shift all of those top levels out. And then we're back trending further under that 200 EMA. Okay. So these top levels up here will be what I will be watching for. And when it comes to watching for any pullbacks, it will be between these three levels if we break each step and then we push up. Okay, so if we push up past this 407 or past this 397, look for small pullbacks to take place back to like up here and then back down. Or we push all the way up here, down, push back up here, and maybe pull back to this level right here at 389. I hope that makes sense. But I'm not anticipating any major pullbacks under this level here across any other side. I'm not really looking for any pullbacks to happen at these lower levels that I had laid out. Okay, so even though I kind of did this on Friday, Sunday I kind of go reshift and kind of see if these levels will still work based on news that may have came out, based on anything that may have taken place over the weekend. And then come pre-market, I go back in and if I have to resort some of my levels to kind of see how the pre-market is moving, I do that. Right. So Those are just 6 levels and 3 stocks that I will be watching. I also will be looking at Palantir. I also will be looking at Dell. Am I 100% on if I'm going to trade them? No, I did not do any levels on those on Friday. And I wanted to show these since these were 3 that I was going to be looking at come Monday anyway, was to go ahead and just share these with you guys. But remember, smartphones, chips, computers, and some other electronics, hit the news. Read what those exemptions will be so that you are able to kind of look into companies that you could potentially trade. Whether or not you get into some of these where, let's just say, the premiums are too high for you and you want to kind of dial back on some, then you can find others that will allow you to get in and have, not going having to go too far out of money. That's pretty much what I mean. That way we can capitalize on that movement that's taking place much quicker and not have to just be sending those trades. Okay. So Palantir, just some of the ones I haven't listed on here. Palantir, Dell, TSMC. Let me pull that off for you guys because I get tongue tied with that one every time. Okay, Tier 1, semi. Now, they are chips, TSM, okay? And this one right here will also be one. I have not really looked into any levels on this one. And so this will be another one. They are a chip maker. And so you can keep this one on your radar as well. So it will be quite a bit that you will be able to um, see some heavy movements on because of its computers, smartphones, chips, all of that, or any of them that have any direct impact alongside chips. And then you're looking at other technologies, AI and all those things may also kind of see movement from that run up, as well as the S&P 500. Now, I'll be honest, I had no plans of trading Spot Monday. I really did not, and I did not go in to do any levels for that one, but I will probably list out some levels throughout the day on SPY versus what I kind of, decided to do because I had no plans of trading SPY. So we shall see. Nvidia is pushing up. If Microsoft, if Dell, even if Tesla starts to push up, S&P 500 will move accordingly to those companies that are within their index. So we could probably expect, a nice run up on that as well. So keep them on your radar. If you decide to enter in these plays, you catch any of these levels, I hope many of you do not have many runners from Friday that, if the market opens and you see 30, 40, 50, 60% of your money is gone. If you were holding puts, I hope that you are willing to cut your losses because it will probably be needed. Um, because as usual, you just never know how things are going to go. So holding overnight for me is definitely out of the window, and swings for me are out the window right now because that's all the market been doing. It's swinging, and I don't need my plays doing all that alongside. I don't want nothing to do with what's going on other than reacting to what I see in the moment, getting in, taking my profit, and going on about my business. If you got any questions, please feel free to ask down below and I'll try to answer them at the best of my ability. And we will look at more stocks throughout the week, but I definitely wanted to kind of bring these to the tables based on the news that we just received from Trump.